Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Han Talks First, and this is the Bad Batch Reviews. You can find us talk about the Bad Batch every Sunday on the podcast or on the YouTube page, and today we're talking about Episode 5, Rampage. So the first half of this episode, we're going to break down the episode and any Easter eggs that might have been involved, and then the second half, we're going to talk about this rumor that is going around about the possibility of Darth Maul returning to the animated world of Star Wars, and more specifically, in the Bad Batch. So this episode started like every other episode so far. They come out of hyperspace and they're trying to get to a safe space where they can, hide and lay low. But this episode still, we don't get there yet. I don't think we're ever going to get to their safe space, which is what they keep saying they need to do because they keep finding themselves in situations where they go on off missions. Yet to fully realize the plot of this show, hopefully it'll unravel soon. I mean, we're getting close to that third way mark of the show, and I would really like to know where we're actually going. But anyway, I've noticed this show has kind of evolved and taken ideas from The Mandalorian in its storytelling. We're constantly going to new planets where we have new missions, and hopefully those people will give us information, and they just keep going back and forth trying to do these little side missions that really don't service the plot at all. I want to know where the story's going. I want to know what we can look forward to. I'm totally open to serialized storytelling, but if we look at The Mandalorian Season 2, they progressed that serialized storytelling into one big story, which now they're at the point where they closed off that story, and I'm really interested to know where Season 3 is headed because it didn't really have any direction yet. But anyway, some of the new characters that we meet in this episode is Sid. Sid is the owner of this bar, but also a member of the underground crime world, and they offer the Bad Batch a task, a bounty hunt, in order for exchange information on who Fennec Shand is. We come to find out that the bounty they were actually after is this Rancor that goes by the name Moochie. And the whole time, all I could think about was Mochi, the cat from Big Hero 6, who was really cute, but anyway. There's some great stuff between them and Wrecker, for example, when they were fighting each other. I thought that was cute and funny and entertaining. But one of the most surprising things about this new Rancor character was that it ties in directly with Return of the Jedi. And this is the same Rancor that Luke Skywalker fought years later after this episode, which that in itself is really cool. It ties in different story themes and things like that. But there is some part of me that's like, please don't continue to do that. Create your own stories. I'm tired of I'm not tired of it, but it is getting a little old seeing all these callbacks and homages and Easter eggs and things like that when I want to discover new ground. I want to see where else we can go. Not much else was in this episode as far as character development. It's usually the same old thing, Omega is still bonding with the Batch, and they're really developing their family sense. They're starting to trust her a little bit more. Hunter constantly would tell her to stay back whenever they would go on missions, but now they're starting to involve her. One, because it's a safety precaution. If she's with them, their likelihood to stay alive, but she's also proving herself more useful to them, like when they get in situations such as this one, when they were tied up by these aliens, and she came in and figured out a way to rescue them by releasing the Rancor. Another great creature that was introduced was this flying dragon-like worm thingy. I don't know the name of it, but it was really cool, and I would love to see something like this in live action. Other than that, there wasn't much else that I wanted to talk about with this episode. It was kind of just a regular episode, nothing really significant to talk about. I will say I've seen a lot of people complain that they're a little disappointed Crosshair still hasn't shown up, and we missed him last episode too, and he's a lot of people's favorite characters. But I will say, don't worry, he's definitely coming back. I mean, there's probably stuff going on parallel to what the Bad Batch is going through that we'll get to see later, kind of like a time skip thing. Don't worry, Crosshair will return. He's just back home preparing his ASMR podcast all about Star Wars because of his sly voice. Okay, let's talk about this Darth Maul thing. I have not read the rumor yet, so we're going to read this together from the article on Screen Rant. The title here says, Star Wars sets up Maul's next return. Oh boy, he's coming back again. All right, so it says in the Bad Batch Season 1, Episode 5... The Clone Force 99 is on the run from the bounty hunter Fennec, who has been hired to bring the squad's newest recruit, Omega. As a result, they head to the planet Ord Mantell to meet a contact named Sid, and they may be able to provide some information on Shand, and in exchange for the services, they agree to do a job for her. After the success, they get the information as well as some pay, And the implication is that they'll be working as mercenaries going forward, providing them a means for survival in this new era with the fall of the Republic and rise of the Empire. However, Ord Mantell is a world most notable for being a base of operations for the Black Sun crime organization, which is also a part of Maul's Shadow Collective formed in the midst of the Clone Wars. And it would later be known as Crimson Dawn, which was featured in Solo: A Star Wars Story, and is definitely active during the same time as the Bad Batch. Maul did escape Ahsoka Tano's custody in the final episodes of Clone Wars, and he had also instructed the leaders of the syndicates to go into hiding during the war's end. Now that the Bad Batch are becoming mercenaries, it's certainly possible that they could find themselves going up against Maul and his rising criminal empire. Okay, and it goes on to suggest that the Bad Batch is a really good opportunity for Maul to reappear in the series. I could see it happening. Do I want it to happen? I don't think so. A lot of people are heavily speculating, and the most talked about thing is who hired Fennec Shand to get Omega, and what is Omega going to be used for? What is her purpose in this show? Again, very similar to The Mandalorian. Omega is the new Baby Yoda. I really do believe it's the Kaminoan. I think they need her for whatever this phase 3 is of the clone army. But I could totally be wrong. I see the comparison with the planet that they're on and its relation to the crime syndicate and the underworld of crime. It's very possible. And then this could tie in directly with Solo: A Star Wars Story. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're trying to connect the movies with these little animated series in between. I mean, they did it with Rebels. They did it with Clone Wars. They kind of did it with Resistance, so it's possible. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think. And what did you think about today's episode? Feel free to reach out to me in the comments below or on social media. I'm always available at Han Talks First. Thank you guys so much for listening today. I hope you had fun. I hope you're enjoying the Bad Batch. Feel free to come by next week and hear us talk about episode 6. Until then, we will be live tomorrow, Monday, with a brand new episode of Han Talks First with a lot of great new topics to discuss. And now, space adventurers, somehow, someway, somewhere this week, may the Force be with you.